Hey, teachers, if you use Google Classroom, do you also use Google Forms in order to give your tests and quizzes? Let me show you how you can use Google Forms to not only save yourself time and automate certain things in your grading process, but let's also use Google Forms in order to make assessment accessible and easy for students. Let's check it out. All right, I'm going to start with my example class here and show you how easy it is to add a Google form as an assessment here. I can either click on the Google Drive icon as I'm creating a post and attach one there, or as I go to classwork, I can click Create Quiz and it will immediately populate a blank quiz for me with all the settings that I need. So let's take a look at my Animal Farm quiz example. You can see the three basic question types here: multiple choice, checkbox, and dropdown, which is going to be very similar to multiple choice. It's really easy to set the correct answer with the answer key feature here, and then I can set the point total that each question is worth. Starting with the short answer here, you can see that I can assign correct answers to immediately be counted as correct. And then I can either go in here and grade each question individually or tell it to mark everything that isn't these answers as incorrect. I can also include some answer feedback if I want to give students a hint or suggestion after the fact. Moving on to long form answer, you can see that here it's really easy for me to add more points to it. I'll show you how you can review student writing in long form answers later. Along the bottom, you can see the ability to add titles, images, and sections here. I've created a section in order to get feedback from my class by using some of the more complicated question types here. You can see I've put a title in here, you can put links to different things, and give students context before they answer questions. And then you can see these more complicated answer types. I've made all of these worth 0 questions. This is a great way to get feedback from students at scale. With the multiple choice or the checkbox grid here, I can get feedback on multiple ideas at the same time. Great, let's jump into settings here. Now you can change a couple of things here, including when do students get feedback here, what's the default point totals, are you collecting their email addresses, but the most important is the idea of limiting it to one response. By turning this on, you make it a very traditional quiz where students can only submit once. You can go in here later after the fact, like a day after the quiz, and turn it off to allow students to submit something else. This is going to give students the chance to retake quizzes multiple times. Now, talking about grading here, the most powerful feature of these type of quizzes is the way that they connect to Google Sheets. So I can quickly connect this to a Google Sheet, and then look what happens when I populate this with the student response. I'm able to get insights into what students did well on, as well as review how they did question by question here. This gives me insight into what answers students are putting for questions. When I go into individual students' responses, I can not only change the grades here, we can see one student put best of England, I can change that, give them a point, and then I can offer just a little bit of feedback here. Watch your spelling. You can also, if you need to give even deeper feedback, connect this to something that's already in your classroom or a YouTube video that you've uploaded in order to give long form feedback here. Now let's get into the really powerful features of this. Let's take a look at these answers in the sheet. I can see that all of these answers are represented here, including the Google Drive link, and I can use these and manipulate these answers really easily. Most importantly, I can download these as a CSV or an Excel file and easily upload them into my learning management system. While I'm sure you can use Google Classroom and Google Forms to save yourself time, I challenge you to see if you can use it to make your classroom a more accessible place. Think about giving students the ability to retake quiz multiple times, to change their answers after being given feedback, or think about how you could allow students to show their knowledge in alternative means by using voice recording on Google Drive or other features like this. I'm sure you're going to save yourself some time and that this is going to make your life easier, but see how you can make your students' life easier as well. I can't wait to hear about how you implement this in your classroom and make testing and quizzing go better in your classes.